Mausoleum. My name's Gina Cuthbert Collier. You may call me JC. The first occupant of this beautiful marble mausoleum was my father, Isaac Cuthbert, or I.C. Collier, who died in 1908. Since then, it not only holds my earthly remains, but those of my mother, Sarah Elizabeth Means Collier, my wife, Jessie Stevens Collier, my son, Durwood Cuthbert, or D.C. Collier, and his wife, Annie Reed McGarity Collier. There are other relatives buried in the lot here. There's quite an interesting monument over here for William Merrill Collier. If you have time, maybe you can take a look at that. I think you'll find it interesting. The Collier family crest is over the door. It was awarded to Robert Collier of Darlaston and Stone, England in 1853. Early on in life, I decided that I liked nice things better than nasty things. And so I was determined to get nice things for me and my family. In my lifetime, I made 3 fortunes, and I would have made a 4th had not outside influences caused that opportunity to evaporate. I was born November the 5th, 1866, lived in Piedmont, which is Piedmont, Georgia in Lamar County, now Lamar County, which is a small village surrounded by my father's plantation, 3,000-acre farm. In my early teens, I moved to Barnesville to finish my education at Gordon, and when I was 14, I took a job at C.C. Murphy's store for $12.50 a month. By the time I was 17, I was making $50 a month. When I was 20, I started my own dry goods store. I learned to use pitchy advertisements, such as this one. It's dated 1896. Natty Collier styles, new Natty styles. I learned to go directly to the manufacturer, and where a sharp bargainer could come away with some really quality products. Typically made trips to Chicago, New York, and Philadelphia to purchase goods. At the time we operated several stores throughout middle and southern Georgia. Excuse me, and we stocked our wares that we stocked were a cut above what you normally find. So even the most discriminating shopper would come to our stores. When I sold my stores in 1911, I was one of the largest dry good merchants in southern and middle Georgia. That was my first fortune. My second fortune was at the time my father died in 1908. I had, although I didn't think growing up that farm life was going to be something that interested me, I found myself inheriting his 3,000-acre farm. And I was living in Barnesville, and I learned the Piedmont, Georgia had 2 schools, a church, a dry goods store, a cotton gin, blacksmith shop, a pottery manufacturing plant, and a train depot. The village was the farm, and the farm was the village. They existed together. And I managed the farm from 10 or so miles away in Barnesville by I hired a farm overseer, and daily he would send me reports on the train. The train came through Piedmont twice a day, and he'd send me the reports every evening, and I would study them at night. I also paid my workers in cold hard cash every Saturday. There was no running a tab at the store, at the country store, or holding their wages. So I attracted people that were willing to work and eager to work to get that cash on Saturday. I used the most modern cultivating and fertilizing techniques in growing my cotton. And in 1918, I received a check for 1 year's worth of cotton, $129,886. That would be over $2.2 million today. That was my second fortune. My third fortune overlapped the other 2. In 1896, my father and I, I.C. Collier, founded Oxford Knitting Mills in Barnesville. At $7,500, we built the mill that was called Oxford Knitting Mills, and later Collier Mills, and then Collier Manufacturing. We focused on knit underwear and supplied long underwear for the Army during World War I. In 1911, my son, Durward, or D.C. Collier, graduated from Georgia Tech with a degree in textile engineering. And he came on board with the company in 1911. One night he had a dream about how he could, using a unique cut, make women's underwear. And he patented it. It's called the Collier cut. And we operated and licensed it to mills throughout the country. We sold our product mainly to colder climates, Canada, Sweden, but we became very famous in knit underwear. In 1918, the Atlanta Journal said that Collier Manufacturing was one of the premier knit underwear manufacturers in the world. That was my third fortune. In politics, I was mayor of Barnesville in 1911. I was a strong supporter of the formation for Lamar County, and I was able to see that the western boundary of Lamar County moved out to enclose my village of Piedmont. In 1924, I was elected the first state senator from the newly formed Lamar County. In the late 1920s, having retired from politics, I sold my textile mill interest in 1924 to Carter Manufacturing out of Massachusetts. So in the late 1920s, I was looking for other opportunities for investment. And the one asset that I still maintained was my 3,000-acre farm at Piedmont. And we had envisioned an industrial complex located at Piedmont. I sent my son DC to Europe twice for education and to solicit investors. And I think if we had been able to complete this, it would have been my most successful venture to date, and it would have changed the dynamics of this entire region. Unfortunately, the Great Depression came along and that opportunity evaporated. Thank you for coming. I have a packet there each of you can take. It includes an authentic Collier cut collar tag, and if you have any more interest in the